Welcome back again. So over the next couple of videos, we're going to talk about light and the types of light, certainly available light, and we'll talk a little bit about where we find that. And then since we're here with the light, we might as well talk a little bit about use of things like reflectors and diffusers, and which way we can use artificial light, like this simple lamp here. So the first thing that I want to show you is what a directional light looks like. And this is an available light, sunlight in particular, and in this case our little light bulb lamp. Directional light is really direct light, very hard edged lighting, and we can see when we bring the light up we can create a very definitive edge between highlights and shadows. Certainly as we bring it closer, and we're blowing this image out a little bit, the image gets a little bit sharper as far as the shadows, vice versa. Now, we all have this direct lighting, but we also use a directional diffused lighting, and certainly have a very simple wire scrim. And we can see just by putting that wire scrim, and you can see that right in front of the lens, what happens to the light. It softens a little bit. And we want to think about these choices that we make when taking photographs, the type of lighting that we utilize. When we're out in the sunlight, direct sunlight will create incredibly harsh shadows. If we go into the shade a little bit, we can get some directional diffused light bouncing off the ground to give us a little bit better lighting. The other is completely diffused lighting, where we bounce it off of another object. And here I'm bouncing it off the ceiling. I also brought my nice piece of mat board card that we can utilize to actually bounce light off. And this is a really great tool to have. Very simple piece of cardboard, a white cardboard, mat board, or in this case foam core. And we can create interesting lighting situations by bouncing that light off of the card. Also, the fourth type of lighting we want to talk about is silhouette lighting. And certainly as we silhouette this shape in front of us, we can see the dark edge that occurs along the outside of the neck and head of this object. Now we can bring this lighting directly behind it also, and it changes what occurs. Now we can use these different type of lighting sources to create different effects that we might want in our photographs. So certainly take a look at those types of lighting sources. Of course, cloudy days are fully diffused light days. We have very even lighting on those days. Great for photographing outdoors and achieving different qualities of color in comparison to direct sunlight. Another thing is that when we photograph at high noon, the sun is directly overhead and we get much more intense shadows, especially when we're doing portraiture work. We do want to stay away from this. It's much better photographing in the early morning, which has a much yellower light, and then a much warmer, redder light in the afternoon, depending upon the time of the year and where you live. Certainly, afternoon light is gorgeous and warm and gives us full glow of features on figures as well as landscape. So take a look at light sources out in the sunlight, get yourself a little lamp, and try an experiment. Photograph your own little plaster head that you might have at home, or any object that you are interested in photographing, still lifes, people. Try diffusing, try bouncing light, and see what happens. Another thing that we can do, which is really great with a reflector, is that we can use a reflector and even bring harsh light in, and we can see that even with this harsh light, when we remove that reflector, we see a beautiful catch light on the side of the face. So we can use simple lights, simple reflectors. We don't need anything too expensive, and get some great images. So try that. See you at the next video, and we'll talk a little bit about color theory.